taking the time to speak to Rangers TV, mate. So let's just get straight into it. So, just tell us a bit about yourself, mate. So, Club Captain, how did that come about?
That's a good question, really. I've been with the club from the very start. I don't think I came to the first training session at the first open training session, but I think I came to the second one. So I've been with the club from the start. I played in the first ever game, and been here from the very start. And Brownie was captain. Obviously, Chris Brown, who's really experienced, played loads of PFL games, played at a really good level. But I think I've always been quite vocal, always been kind of with Brownie, was always one of the senior players, I suppose. And then Brownie's circumstances changed. Obviously, his little lad plays a lot of football on Saturdays, so he couldn't really commit anymore. So I think naturally, probably the next loudest in the group is me. Yeah, probably. Yeah. So Dane said, obviously, now you're the captain, and it's gone from there, really.
Oh, brilliant! So you've obviously been here since the start, near enough. So you've seen a transition from Div 5 to Div 1, mate.
Yeah.
So how are you finding it?
It's good. It's harder. It's a lot harder, as you'd expect. Even from Div 2, obviously last year, you notice the level is a lot better. I think a lot of people probably said it, but Div 1 in this year is a really good league. It's really competitive. Yeah, it's tough. There's a lot of good players. A lot of players who've dropped down from the Prem, and there are teams in this league who are Prem teams. They're not even could mix in the Prem. They are Prem teams like Neverton. Stamford Bells were a Prem team, obviously. Waplow made some really good signings. Hampton are a really good side. So it's definitely been an adjustment. I think you get less room for error at this level.
You get punished.
Yeah, there's better players, better strikers. So you only need to switch off once or make one mistake, and you get punished. I think we found that a few times.
Yeah.
Whereas in Div 2, Div 3, Div 5, you get a bit more room for error, and maybe the quality of the players you're playing against means that you don't always get punished for your mistakes, whereas you do at this level. So been a good learning curve, steep learning curve. We've played some good teams, haven't we, I think, so far. But I feel good now. I feel probably as good as I felt now. I feel alright. So
and performances would show, mate. So let's move on to this season. So how do you think the season's started off? Obviously, at the moment, I think we sit 6th or 5th in the league. I know we've got a couple of games in hand, but it's been a bit indifferent. A couple of wins, a draw, a defeat. So how do you think we started? From your point of view.
From a personal point of view.
Personally,
a bit up and down. I think I started pretty well. First couple of games I played quite well. Then had kind of my annus horribilis, they call it, I think. Just one of them days that you've played, sometimes you just have days where everything goes wrong, and everything went wrong. It was just that was one of those where every little mistake gets punished. On another day, a striker not quite as good as the one we played against doesn't score the goals he scores, and perhaps you get away with it, whereas we didn't get away with it. So that was a bit of a shocker. That happens, don't everyone?
Of course.
It's one of those. Sometimes it happens. Unfortunately for me, it was one of the ones on YouTube. So I've not watched it back. I watched all our games back, but I've never watched it back because I just can't do it. Yeah, I don't want to do it. I won't watch that one back. And then obviously he's out of the team, and then came back in. And then I think since I've come back in, I've done pretty well. I feel probably as good as I felt. I feel a lot fitter. My knees aren't as sore as they have been. So. I feel pretty good. I think, as I say, if you took away the Hampton game, I'd be really pleased with how I've played so far this season. But you can't take away the Hampton game; it happened. So, I think it's been okay. Definitely could get better, but the level of the last couple of games has been more like what I know I should be doing.
Yeah. So let's focus on that then. For those who don't know, obviously you played Hampton. I think it was the 3rd or 4th game of the season. We went 2-0 up. They brought it back to 2-2. We went 4-2 at half time. We then scored straight after half time, which is what the manager Dwayne asked us to do. Go and get that 5th goal, kill the game off. And then we just had a nightmare 15 minutes where they scored 3 goals in sort of 15 minutes. And we sort of threw 3 points away. And then yourself got dropped. So how did that feel?
It's not nice, is it?
No,
it's not nice. Especially when you're the senior player, you're the captain. I've been ever present pretty much since the start. It's pretty tough to take. I think. I think it's quite hard to take, and I think it was the Thursday night before the next Saturday game, I was away with my missus and my kids, and Dwayne, obviously, manager, sent me a voice note and just said, just that you know, dropping you for Saturday, I'm going to give someone else a chance, which was fine, but I was probably not the most fun that night. I was probably sulking a little bit, but then, yeah, it's just not nice, is it? It's not good. And if I'm being honest, I didn't agree with it, but I don't have to agree with it.
No, of course not.
And I knew that. Like I knew it didn't really matter whether I agreed with it or not, because the manager makes the decisions he makes for the best of the team, and he felt for the next game that the team would be better off with 2 other players playing, and that's fine. Like you have to accept it. Like you don't have to agree with it, you don't have to like it, but you do have to accept it. I think so. Yeah, so it was pretty rubbish. It wasn't fun, but I think you have like 2 choices at that stage. I think you can either sulk a little bit, and don't get me wrong, I did sulk a little bit at home, but you can let that carry on. Like you can come to the game and you're sulking, you can have a bad attitude, next training session even, it would be quite easy. I can understand why players sometimes do go that way.
Yeah.
But I think for me, once I got over that initial kind of annoyance and had my little sulk at home with my wife, bless her, it was like, okay, I wanna like get back in as soon as possible and prove, like for me it was like proving the manager wrong. It was like, okay, fair play, you made that decision, but I think it was wrong, and now I want to show you it was wrong. He'll probably say now it was right because I played really well. So if you ask him, he'll probably go, well, look what's happened since you came back in, you've played much better. So he'd probably he was proved right in some ways, but yeah, for me it was like setting an example as well, because I think a lot of the lads, we've got a lot of young lads, and I think a lot of the lads are going to find themselves in situations this season where they're asked to go and play reserves, or they don't start when they think they might deserve to start. And I think if I sulk and I have the wrong attitude, that doesn't send the message to them boys of like, how can I tell them to act in a certain way when they're dropped or when they're sent to the reserves if I didn't act that way myself. So it was like, for me it was like, no, you've got to be a good example for everyone, and like I'm old enough, wise enough to take on the chin, not let it, do you know what I mean? You don't let it get you down too much. It's like, right, okay, double down and work harder. And I think the next training session I made sure I trained really well, and I was like, I want to show the manager and yourself I'm ready. Like if you decide you want me to start again, like I'll be ready, and I'm like feeling good. So yeah, it wasn't the most fun, and it was the second time, a couple of seasons ago I got dropped for a cup semi-final, which again, same sort of thing, you feel pretty rubbish about it, but you do the same thing, head down, work harder, get back in, and then when you're in, make sure you don't give the manager that decision to make again. I think that was for me, it was like, now it's down to me, isn't it? I've got my place back, and as long as I play well, I'll keep it. And it's up to me, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah, of course, because obviously, like as club captain and club secretary at the same time, you know that during that spell, obviously the manager wasn't happy. We went in for a few defenders as well, which you must be thinking, like bloody hell. But personally, from my point of view, I thought your attitude was spot on.
Yeah.
You got dropped fine, you had a sulk, you was pissed off. I'd have been absolutely raging.
Yeah.
It's happened to me, and I got dropped for the remainder.
Well, we
of the
spoke
season.
about it, didn't we? We spoke about it.
Exactly, mate. So what happened to me at Deacon. I got dropped for the rest of the year, and then next year got told like I wasn't part of the plan, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, your attitude was spot on, mate. You came training. You really put it in. The next game, you started, and since I've been here, that's arguably one of your best performances.
Yeah.
So I even said to you, like the challenge now is keeping that level.
Yeah.
And then you go and play Yaxley reserves, and they have a first team lineup,
Yeah.
and you could argue that you was one of the standout performers in that game as well. So your performance is just sort of skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So like you said, you probably proved Dwayne right.
That's it. In my head, I proved him wrong. So I'm like, you should never have dropped me. In his head, he's going, well, look what's happened. You've played, you've played as well as you've played in a long time since I dropped you. So like he's been proved right in some ways, hasn't he? So yeah, it is what it is. But I think, like you said, the key is now there's no good getting dropped, coming back in, playing really well, and then not staying at that level. I think now it's important that just stay at that level that I'm at, and I don't have that situation again. So it's down to me. I know it's down to me. Like it's in my own hands, isn't it? So hopefully, carry on.
So at this stage, well, it's just off the cuff, so we keep it short and sweet. So at this stage, we get the chance, if you want to shout out any sponsors or to give a thank you to anybody, anyone who's helped the club, helped yourself, just like to give them a bit of a shout out, really.
Okay, yes, Ali. First person to thank is Alistair Clark, North Down Property Services. So Ali is one of my oldest friends, and we went out for a curry one night. So myself, Isaac, because he plays with us, and a couple of mates, we try and go out for a curry every month or something. And I'd been twisting his arm about trying to sponsor us, and I basically gave him a full sales pitch over a curry. And he said, why should I sponsor you other than the fact that you're my mate? I said, well, that's a fair point. But yeah, he came in obviously sponsored us and sponsored the reserves as well.
Yeah, he did.
So big shout out to North Down Property Services, because and don't get me wrong, he's getting something out of it as well, because I now have to do his social media. So as part of the deal, I give him some work for free.
Oh,
so it's not all you know.
Not all one way.
Yeah, so it still costs to me somehow. But yeah, big shout out to them and Alf as well. Obviously we've spoken about Alf before. Alf Poland comes to every game, most training sessions, rain or shine, does anything the club needs. I think he painted the pitch the other day. He runs the line for us. He does the team sheets. I know he's helping the Sunday team now. So yeah, Alf as well. You know, people like that are what football clubs like ours rely on. Like we couldn't do it without people like Alf.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
yeah, massive shout out to Alf, definitely.
Cool. So before we conclude, just quickly, obviously we're recording this on game day. So tough game today. Park Farm, how you feeling?
Yeah, confident to be honest, but without being overconfident. I think we've got a good squad. I think we're in good form. It's weird because we lost our last game. It doesn't feel like we lost our last game.
It feels like we're involved a little bit.
Yeah. Like I think, you know, I look at the last 3 performances, I think we played pretty well, but obviously we lost the last game. But if we play like we played our last game, which is obviously Yaxley, we'll be fine. But they're going to be quite tough. They're always quite physical, aren't they? Top 5 teams are always quite physical. They make it hard. They never stop trying. It's not going to be an easy game by any stretch, but I think we've got, you know, definitely they've got the squad to do it on a lovely pitch as well. We suit playing on a 3G pitch, so hopefully, yeah, lovely afternoon, nice pitch, a few goals, a few beers, get home and watch the boxing.
Watch the boxing, yes,
Yeah.
of course. So I'm going to ask you for a score prediction. I'm going to put you on the spot. You don't have to say what if you don't want to.
Okay.
So
What for the game today?
For the game today, man, I'm going to put you on the spot. But like I said, you might say, you know, Andy, I'd rather not jinx us or whatever. But I'm going to put you on the spot either way. So score prediction for today.
Score prediction for today. I think we're going to win. You've got to back a clean sheet, haven't you? I can't say we're
You're a defender. You can't say we're going to win 5-4, can you?
Yeah, probably 3-0. 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
Goal scorers. Any goal scorers?
Goal scorers.
Not Carl. Carl's not scoring today.
I don't know. What do you reckon? Yeah, Carl maybe. Carl will get one. Jamie and you don't just want to go for the forwards.
Oh no, it's hard though because they're all in good form. They're all in good form. Carlin to get one.
Yeah, I'll give Carlin a goal.
I don't think he scored this season, is it?
I'll give him a goal. Yeah.
Player of the month.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, there's one more thing that I want to do. So we are going to do this. So what I'm going to ask you to do is you get to write down a question that I'm going to ask the next person. Keep it clean. You're not going to know who I'm interviewing though, so you ain't got a clue who I'm interviewing. It could be anybody. It could be as random as you like, but as clean as you like because of our audience. And I won't look at it until the actual time I interview the next person, and I'll ask them. Then they'll get the opportunity to ask whatever. And you only get 5 seconds in which to answer the question.
Okay.
So it can be as funny, as horrible as you like.
Okay. Cool.
Right, thank you very much. And if you'd like to feature on this video as a sponsor, please get in touch with us.